This video is brought to you in association with Kitchich Toys, the UK's home for retro and vintage toys.
Alright, Rick Woolcame back again with episode 2 of Fanon, the show where I speculate about shows, films, books and video games using guesswork, ideas I've found on the internet and twisted logic. None of this is official within the show, it's just my ideas, how I see it and wild speculation. This isn't canon, it's Fanon. Oh, and naturally, spoiler warning is in full effect. This week, shockingly, we're talking Doctor Who, delving into classic Who here, and one of my favourite companions, Ace. She's one of the most iconic characters of the show's later run, and the archetype of almost all modern companions. And yet, still, we don't really know how she left. The last we see of her in universally accepted canon is at the end of Survival, when she heads off with the Doctor, ready for their next adventure. Then we get the TV movie, and she's nowhere in sight. So, what happened between these two? Well, looking outside the show, there are 3 key continuities to look at. Each one offers a different take on it. In the novels, she ends up getting tired of the Doctor's plotting and goes off to become a space badass Dalek hunter. Reunites with the Doctor, has some more adventures before heading off on her own again. It's an interesting take on the character, but I never really saw her growing into the space bitch, and I don't think she'd walk out on the Doctor. He was more than just the Doctor to her, he was her mentor, shaping her to be a champion of time like him, which in my book means not fighting in space wars, but being more like Sarah Jane in the Sarah Jane Adventures or K9 and Company. So, scratch that. Then we get the comics, or to be precise, the comics from Doctor Who magazine, and the story Ground Zero, which featured the Threshold kidnapping Perry, Susan and Sarah Jane for the Lowbury, creatures that live off fear and anger. They're a great monster, by the way. I'd love to see them brought back for the new series. The 7th Doctor and Ace get involved, as you might expect, and Ace attacks the Lowbury single-handed, armed only with a can of Nitro 9 and the Doctor's umbrella. And she actually wins! She kills one of the Lowbury. It just costs her her own life. She dies a hero, saving everyone, and the Doctor destroys the rest of the monsters in his rage over it. And I love this idea for the exit of Ace. It's the way I could imagine her going out. And I've counted this as my thoughts on her fate for a long, long time. But then in the Sarah Jane Adventure story Death of the Doctor, we get one key line that makes me think she's still out there fighting the good fight. They mention Dorothy, a former companion of the Doctor, now work as head of a charitable Earth. You know, ACE, Ace, get it? So, scratch that theory. So it's on to the Big Finish Audios, who tried to bring the Cartmel Master Plan to its natural conclusion. Now, the Cartmel Master Plan is a discussion for another time. All we need to look at is how it affects Ace, and it does that by her being trained by the Doctor. We get that from the show already, so nothing outrageous there. The big deal is why he was training her. He plans to send her to the Academy, to turn her into a Time Lord, or at least part-Time Lord, so she can be a Times champion just like he is. This could involve her coming back to Earth later, setting up a charitable Earth. Sophie Aldred has gone on record in saying it's not something Ace would do unless it was a kind of front for UNIT. I'm going one step beyond that. Not a front for UNIT, but her own organisation, her own team fighting to protect the Earth, possibly across all of time and space. This is what the Doctor wanted for her, this is who she is, this is her fate in my mind, and it would make one hell of a spin-off in my book. So that's my opinion on what happened to Ace. She's become another former companion who's there protecting the Earth with super advanced alien technology. Another of Time's champions. Do you agree? Do you have your own theory? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe. And until next time, see you later.